Welcome to the daily English news program on Azərbaycan Television with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, İlham. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, has arrived in the Republic of Turkey to attend the 8th summit of the Cooperation Council of Turkic-speaking states. A guard of honor was arranged for the head of state at the Atatürk airport, decorated with the national flags of Azerbaijan and Turkey. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, has received Chief Executive Officer of BP, Bernard Looney.
BP Chief Executive Officer Bernard Looney congratulated the head of state on Azerbaijan's achievements since they last met. Expressing his gratitude for the congratulations, President Ilham Aliyev congratulated Bernard Looney on the joint accomplishments in respect to the Thousand Gas Corridor and reiterated that the project had been achieved through the joint efforts of Azerbaijan and BP. BP's strongest in the world partnership with Azerbaijan, including with Sorka, was hailed at the meeting. Azerbaijan was also described as the strongest partner of BP. It was noted that Azerbaijan enjoyed a rich history and bright future of cooperation with the company based on mutual trust. The sides noted that BP's interest in renewable energy is in line with Azerbaijan's energy strategy, adding that the expansion of cooperation with BP in this area was being reviewed. Pointing to the importance of BP's renewable energy plants in the liberated areas, the sides expressed their hope that it would contribute to transforming the areas into green energy ones as stated by Azerbaijan. The parties noted that this work had great potential, especially given that Azerbaijan had diversified energy links with neighboring countries and that the country produced more energy than it needed. Recalling the initiatives of the nationwide leader Heydar Aliyev to develop hydrocarbon resources for the benefit of Azerbaijan, Bernard Looney congratulated President Ilham Aliyev on his ideas related to the issue of energy transfer. BP CEO Bernard Looney praised Azerbaijan's efforts in the field of environmental protection, saying that the country was among the world's leading states in this area and that the environmental standards and protection of environmental regulation in Azerbaijan was stronger than in many developed countries. President Ilham Aliyev highlighted the large-scale measures taken in Azerbaijan to protect the environment.
President Ilham Aliyev signed an executive order on amendment of the executive order on the provision of stipends to PhD students, students of institutes of higher education and vocational schools, as well as to students undergoing master education at the National Academy of Sciences of Azerbaijan. According to the amendment, students with academic grade of 5 will receive 75 monats, students with academic grades of 4 and 3 will receive 60 monats, and those with academic grades ranging from 3 to 5 will get 50 monats. The new history, written last fall by the victorious Supreme Commander-in-Chief and the powerful Azerbaijan army in Karabakh, along with a serious influence on the development of the region, turns the Azerbaijani people into a victorious nation. This victory ended with the signing of the Act of Surrender of Armenia on November 10th. Today, the items reflected in the document are being implemented, and provocations committed by the opposite side in order to violate the agreement will in no way change the new realities formed by Azerbaijan in the region.
End of the resistance and the surrender of the armed forces to the adversary. Transfer of the enemy's military equipment to the victor. Disarmament of the personnel of the armed forces or their capture. In short, a document signed on the terms of the winning party is called an act of surrender.
Перейдем к подписанию.
Да.
Even time needs time. The past year created wide opportunities for a deep understanding of all the details of the Act of Surrender signed by the presidents of Azerbaijan and Russia, and which the Prime Minister of Armenia was forced to sign. It becomes clear that this document is not just a victorious outcome of the 44-day patriotic war. To be more precise, this is the evidence of the achievement of vital goals by Azerbaijan in the political, economic, military, legal plane, which for many years was set before the professional and high-quality system of state administration in Azerbaijan. Imagine that the state, which was under the threat of collapse, actually rose from the ashes. Economic power has been brought to historical record level thanks to mega projects, and this economic potential turned the army created after the First Karabakh War into one of the 50 strongest armies in the world. Relations built on the principles of mutual trust and respect have to date turned our country into a regional leader, into a state whose word and signatures are trusted by everyone. The enemy's disinformation machine is out of action. The truth has been conveyed to the whole world through the lips of justice, and so on. In a word, thanks to the principled diplomatic course and the decisive will of President Ilham Aliyev, the factors that determined our victory were brought together, and the striking force of the Iron Fist was formed. Thus, the Azerbaijani people by deeds proved their unity and greatness to the enemy, its patrons, and to the whole world. This is our common victory of the entire Azerbaijani people. The people of Azerbaijan have once again shown how great they are, how patriotic they are with an iron will. Suffering, hopelessness, torment over the 30 years did not break our people, did not have any negative impact on our will. On the contrary, we rallied even more, became more persistent, stronger, pulled ourselves together and said, "That's enough. We won't put up with the occupation." We said we would drive the enemy out of our lands. By the order of the Supreme Commander-in-Chief, the heroic Azerbaijani army expelled the remnants of the fugitive army, which had been strengthening in the occupied lands for years, and demonstrated so-called professionalism in violating the laws of war, delivered crushing blows, after which they would not even dare to look in our direction. Of course, the heroes who have demonstrated this legendary courage, as if they have restored a monument to our spirituality and have returned to us a sense of pride, are the young generation, brought up for years in the right ideological spirit, in the spirit of patriotism. An expedient policy was carried out in the political, economic, military directions, in the spiritual sphere, in the field of fostering the young generation, and a young generation who sacrificed their lives for the land grew up. The young generation, at the cost of their life and blood, liberated our land from the enemy. Representatives of all generations took part in the war and displayed heroism, but everyone should know that the main mission was fulfilled by the young people who were brought up during my presidency, young people who were children in 2003. First of all, we owe them, the entire Azerbaijani people. The past year gave us and the world community new realities. Though fragile, the peace and stability in the region, which for many years was a zone of hostilities, the subsequent beginning of the revival in Karabakh and East Zangezur, the dividends that all this promises to our country and the states of the region, and even to Armenia itself, are the actual results of the signed joint trilateral statement.
The amount of the means tested social assistance will increase from 170 to 200 monats. It's also envisaged to bring up the need criterion to a minimum level of subsistence, 210 monats. This was stated during discussions of the draft law on the state budget for 2022 at the joint meeting of the parliamentary committees on legislative policy and state building, defense, security and fight against corruption, human rights, international relations and interparliamentary ties, and the disciplinary commission. It was noted that relevant draft laws of the budget package were presented to the parliament. During the discussions of the draft law on state budget, Finance Minister Samir Sharifov addressed a number of significant points, noted that the ministry was tasked with reduction of the state debt to 10% of GDP, and work in this direction was underway. In 2018, a strategy on the state debt was adopted, and in the current year it is envisaged to be updated. It was emphasized that the government is interested in development of the non-oil sector. Restrictions on greenhouse gas emissions due to climate change pose quite serious problems for oil and gas producing countries. Therefore, a decrease in demand for oil in the world is not ruled out. It will also have an impact on the economy of Azerbaijan. Taking into account these factors, the strategy of socio-economic development has been developed. In 2022, transfers from the state oil fund to the state budget amounted to more than 12 billion monats. Finance Minister Samir Sharifov stated that by the end of this year, the state budget is expected to receive over 1.5 billion monats from the State Tax Service, the State Customs Committee and other sources. During the meeting, the chairman of the Chamber of Accounts, Rövşən Məmmədov, presented the conclusion of the chamber on the bill. Deputies put forward their proposals on the draft law. After discussions, the document was recommended to the plenary session of the parliament. The Cooperation Council of Turkic-speaking states, the Turkic Council, will henceforth operate under the name Organization of Turkic States. Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu announced this at the meeting of the Council of Foreign Ministers of the organization in Istanbul. Foreign Minister of the brotherly country noted the need to strengthen cooperation between the Turkic states in the context of new realities.
The homeland of our fathers, Asia, is turning into a leading center of world politics. In this context, accordingly, the importance and responsibility of our organization grows. At the upcoming Istanbul meeting tomorrow, our leaders will make very important decisions about the future of the organization. So, our family portrait this year will be replenished in connection with the upcoming joining of the organization by Fraternal Turkmenistan. Secondly, the name of our large family will change, and this should have been done for a long time. It will be called the Organization of Turkic-Speaking States.
In a conference, Turkey, Turkic states, economy and trade kicked off in Istanbul. Alongside our country, officials of Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Turkmenistan are participating at the event organized by the Trade Ministry and Foreign Economic Relations Council of Turkey. The conference continues with panel sessions on the topics of current development prospects in the global economy and development of trade among Turkic states, investment opportunities and improvement of the investment climate, difficulties and opportunities in trade logistics enhancement of connections among Turkic republics.
We discussed issues of trade, transport, logistics, digitalization, energy transition and readiness of our states for this process. Also issues of unified digital investment platform that will enable the expansion of trade between our states were discussed. We also touched on the efficient use of our logistic corridors.
That was all for today. Thank you for being with us and see you next time.